News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight, the county commissioners send a message to lawmakers.
And the LDS Church is inviting you to a barbecue. News 25 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Eunette Gentry. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
The governor gets backlash for a gun bill legislation. It's Tuesday, March 12th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Eunette Gentry.
County commissioners have made a decision on behalf of Nye residents, issuing a statement that the county will not support new gun legislation that has been signed into law by Governor Sisolak. The law supports background checks for private gun purchases. The Nye County Board of County Commissioners have joined several rural law enforcement officers, including Sheriff Sharon Worley, in sending a message to the state legislature. On this week's Board of County Commissioners agenda, the board decided to adopt a county resolution 2019-12, informing the 80th session of the Nevada legislature that Nye County opposes the passage of any bill that restricts the individual right as U.S. citizens protected by Section 11 of the Nevada Constitution and the Second Amendment of the United States. Following Governor Steve Sisolak's passage of a current law that filled the loophole of a voted-in background check law, Governor Steve Sisolak signed the bill SB 143, which will take effect in January of 2020. This replaces the 2016 initiative that voters approved for background checks on gun sales. One of the issues that gun supporters have is that the background checks are also for private gun sales. The Nye County Commissioners and Sheriff Sharon Worley says that they believe these background checks infringe on the rights of people to keep and bear arms and consider such laws to be unconstitutional. They are asking that the governor of Nevada veto any legislation which infringes on the right of the people. The board says that this resolution is not intended to or does not negate provisions any law that would prohibit the sale or possession of firearms by felons or prohibit the sale of possession of firearms by individuals with a history of dangerous mental illness or who have been adjudicated mentally ill.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve and adopt Nye County Resolution number 2019-12, a resolution informing the 80th session of the legislature that Nye County opposes the passage of any bill that restricts the individual right of U.S. citizens protected by Section 11 of the Nevada Constitution and the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, including lines for all commissioners to be able to sign on this, as I believe we are all in unanimous support.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve and adopt. Further discussion?
It's time for the citizens to stand up in a true grassroots effort and take back our constitutional rights and protect those that we still have. So that's the purpose of it. I want to thank you for taking up this proposal. I want to especially thank Sheriff Worley for taking a bold stand, which essentially gives our proposal the teeth it needs to actually make a difference.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. It's unanimous.
And an audit of the Treasurer's Office has revealed some areas of concern. That item was addressed at the County Commissioners' Chambers Monday.
Possible action, discussion and deliberation regarding the corrective action letter for the annual audit report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2018, to be submitted to the Nevada Department of Taxation.
The Board of County Commissioners had an item addressing the issues going on with the Nye County Treasurer's Office. Nye County wanted to put in place a corrective action plan, compliance with law and regulations for audit year ending June 30th of 2018. According to law, within 60 days after the delivery of the annual audit to local government, the governing body shall advise the department what action has been taken to prevent reoccurrence of each violation of law or regulation or to correct each continuing violation. Some of the issues with the Treasurer's Office appear to have stemmed from the early resignation in January of 2018 of the Nye County Treasurer. This prompted the Board of County Commissioners to appoint an interim treasurer. In October of 2018, that person took the seat. The treasurer-elect resigned, prompting the Board of County Commissioners to again act, appointing a chief deputy treasurer as interim treasurer in January of 2019, when the new treasurer's term would be in effect. In January of 2019, the Board of County Commissioners then appointed Mr. John Prudent as Nye County Treasurer. During these significant department transitions, staff worked towards cross-training. However, they say that the turmoil generated the need to focus primarily on maintaining county function and operations. One of the biggest issues with the Treasurer's Office was a delay in presenting reports to the Board of County Commissioners. They also found that there was excess of appropriation for expenditures, some of those being the Nye County General Fund, State and County Room Tax Fund, Public Safety Sales Tax Distribution Fund, and County Special Ad Valorem. This fund generates revenues primarily from a property tax rate, and all property tax revenues generated within the fund are subject to an NRS and must be allocated out to each town in Nye County based on populations. The board discussed their corrective action letter with the Nye County Treasurer's Office and the plans that they are making to implement these changes.
I have a motion and a second to accept the corrective action letter for the annual audit report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2018. Is there any further discussion? Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Well, the big decision about Brexit, that and more national and international news when News 25 returns.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, let's see Eunette Gentry, what she has going on in our courts this week.
In this week's court report, formal charges are pending for Danny L. Lisk, the janitor from Pahrump Valley High School captured in Laredo, Texas, while attempting to cross the border into Mexico. Two students at Pahrump Valley High School came forward with information about Lisk making inappropriate advances and policy-breaking social media contact with students. Lisk was wanted for luring a child, unlawful use of minors in producing porn, and promotion of sexual performance of a minor. Arresting authorities say Lisk had $8,800 on him. The suspect fled after the Pahrump Valley High School students waged the allegations against him. Lisk is being brought back to Pahrump to face those allegations. In Justice Court as of February 27th, Lisk had a warrant of arrest issued, bail set at $50,000 cash or $100,000 bond with nationwide parameters. A certified copy was given to an NCSO deputy to take to NCSO dispatch. Notably, there is a Snapchat search warrant connected to this case. And as recently as Monday, an unidentified woman came to the courthouse and inquired about the charges connected to this case, but she was told that charges are pending at this time. Therefore, no first appearance in court for Lisk has been scheduled yet. Willard Overton has now been sentenced to 96 to 240 months in prison. Overton is the local man who made a guilty plea following his arrest connected to the charges of sexual assault upon a child under 14 and lewdness with a child under 14 years of age. During Overton's sentencing hearing, Overton's attorney, Brent Percival, presented argument in support of probation, then notes that the psychosexual evaluation returned for Overton having a low risk to reoffend. Then the defendant was addressed in the court, and he made his own statements. And then a rep for the state called the underage victim's mother to the stand. She gave a victim impact statement to the court, and that's when the state made an argument in support of the maximum sentence of 8 to 20 years in prison. Finally, the court sentences Overton to 96 to 240 months, credit for time served, and all the standard fines and fees. Then Overton was remanded back to the custody of the Nye County Detention Center. This has been your court report. I'm Eunette Gentry for News 25.
Thanks so much, Eunette. I'm still trying to find out what it said on a shirt. I couldn't figure it out. Well, should I stay or should I go? A big decision for British lawmakers.
Topping our news, a big day for Brexit. Members of the British Parliament are deciding whether to back a deal to break away from Europe. That deal was negotiated by Prime Minister Theresa May. She is urging lawmakers there to make one more push and endorse the latest Brexit plan. The breakup between the United Kingdom and the European Union is scheduled to happen March 29th. BMW is the biggest U.S. car exporter for the 5th year in a row. Exports of Beamers totaled $8.4 billion last year. The vehicles are exported from the plant in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And the rough winter is paying off for Vail Resorts. The ski resort operator's total revenue climbed 16% compared to a year ago. The ski giant is said to be working to take advantage of the best weather conditions in years.
Thanks, Angela. President Trump and his new budget proposal calls for restarting licensing at the mothballed Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository. The 2020 fiscal year budget presented to Congress is seeking nearly $32 billion for the U.S. Energy Department. The budget has not been released as of yet, but Congressman Stephen Horsford says the request is actually for $116 billion. All
right. Well, we have much more news after this.
News 25 is brought to you by Bill and Robin Law, injury attorneys. Injured, need money? Get Bill and Robin, your local Pahrump injury attorneys.
Well, a well-known building in town is set to be demolished. The Kingdom Club on the corner of Highway 160 and Homestead Road is being torn down. The castle-type structure at 2310 South Highway 160 is scheduled to be demolished by Pahrump Business Full Throttle Excavation. Previously a strip club that was owned by brothel owner Joe Richards, the would-be restaurant somehow was able to get a license for adult entertainment against county code. Shortly after they lost their liquor license, the Kingdom went downhill from there, closing their doors in 2014. Later, a Utah firm purchased the property in hopes to sell or rent it. Show host, businessman, and philanthropist Peter J. Shields began renting it for a type of indoor swap meet with food and live bands called Peter J. Shields Magic Kingdom. They even held unique weddings at the club. The business never really took off, some say because a water main owned by Great Basin Water Company broke, which limited access to the business a year and a half ago. There are still construction signs on the road today in front of the facility because the work has never been completed. Now the county says they are in the beginning of repairing the problems themselves. Shields sunk a huge amount of his own money into the facility. He was unable to meet code and get the parking lot paved completely as ordered. Shields said the owners refused to take on that burden, so he moved out, opening his own operation at another location here in town before letting his business go completely. The Kingdom Club and Castle has long been considered an eyesore. The property owners hope after tearing down the building, now someone can build another facility minus the stripper poles.
The Southern Pahrump Ward of the LDS Church will be hosting an event for the entire community to enjoy. News 25 caught up with Judith Llewellyn for the event that they're calling Roots, Boots, and Barbecue.
The barbecue is wonderful, the classes are wonderful, and you even have time to do a little line dancing. So, and you'll have instruction on line dancing. That will be during the noon hour, and they will have prizes. But the classes are for everybody who's interested in family history, genealogy. We have classes pretty much for all ages except for children under 3. We have youth classes also that will talk about pioneer activities. What did the youth in the days of the pioneers in the 1800s do? What did their families do? How did they spend their time? We'll have games and so forth, and those will be classes that will be for the entire family. It's going to be at 5461 Mance Boulevard in Pahrump, and that's at the LDS Church.
The beautiful church down there.
It is gorgeous. So.
And so what day, time?
It is March 16th. Registration starts at 8 o'clock, and we'll have our keynote speakers starting at about 9 o'clock with an introduction. And then our classes, we'll have 5 classes, 2 before lunch and 3 after lunch.
So it's a whole day event?
It's a whole day event ending at 5 o'clock. We will have a schedule of classes posted so they can look at that and see what time they want to come. If they come in at 10 o'clock, they can look and see what classes are at 10 o'clock. If they want to come in after lunch, they'll look and see what classes start at 2 o'clock, and they'll be able to attend those. So.
Is there a place to see that schedule ahead of time?
Pahrump Family History Center is a Facebook page, and then we also have one that's called Roots, Boots, and Brisket. It's a Facebook page also.
So once again, March 16th from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. right there on Mans Road. Everybody come down to the LDS Church.
Okay, yes, everybody come down.
Well, a new version of a Boeing jet is not sitting well with travelers. More than a dozen airlines, along with certain governments, except for the United States, have now grounded the popular jet after 2 deadly plane crashes involving a particular model. For the second time in a matter of months, model 737 MAX 8 has crashed just minutes after an erratic takeoff. Investigators in Ethiopia said the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder have now both been recovered, but it still could take time to discern whether the cause of Sunday's crash of Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, which killed 157 people, was a faulty plane, pilot error, or something else entirely. In October, a Lion Air flight crashed in Indonesia, killing all 189 people on board. While the cause of that crash is still under investigation, Indonesian and American aviation authorities have raised the possibility that software in the MAX 8 was in part to blame.
And now here's Darby with today's Save a Pet.
Today we are joined with Frank. Frank is a gray and white American Staffordshire Terrier mix. He's 7 years old. Frank would prefer to be in a home without cats, but he does very, very well with small children and adults, so he would make a great family dog. So if you would like to see Frank and all of his friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, stop by and see them. They're on Seary Lane behind the Nye County Courthouse. You can give them a call at 775-751-7020. You can look them up online at deserthavenas.org or check them out on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society.
News 46 Weather Cam is brought to you by Glenn Lerner Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, it's time to take a look outside now through our Glenn Lerner weather cam at those current conditions. Look at those fluffy clouds with the grays and the silvers at the bottom. Does that mean more rain could be on the horizon?
I don't know. I heard that Michael's pretty fluffy in his report coming up, so we're going to look at that in just a moment.
All right.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue with today's temperatures. In Las Vegas, at a high 67, a low of 48. Death Valley, 78.54. 67.42 in Amargosa. 64.38 in Beatty. Goldfield, 56.26. Tonopah, 52.24. Carson City, 49.22. Fallon 54.25 and Fernley 53.26. Today in Pahrump, we had mostly sunny skies, a high of 65 degrees. Wind out of the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour, humidity at 45%, and sunrise at 6:59 a.m. For tonight, It's currently 63 degrees outside with partly cloudy skies. We're going to get down to 42 with winds out of the north-northeast at 12 miles per hour, humidity at 46, and sunset at 6:48 p.m. Looking ahead to our 7-day, we got some sun in the forecast, which is a little bit different than what we've been having. We will still be having some clouds on Friday and Tuesday, but nothing too much. Temperature-wise, it's starting to get warm outside, so that's pretty good. Wednesday, we're going to have a high of 56. On Thursday and Friday, we're going to be up at 60 and 63. And then Saturday through Tuesday, we're breaking those 70s, and by next Tuesday, we'll be up at 76. For overnights, we're still kind of staying about where we have been. Wednesday and Friday, we're going to be at lows in about the mid-30s. Thursday, Saturday through Monday, we're going to be about those mid-40s. And by Tuesday, our low will be up at 52. So it's starting to get warm outside, so that is the good news. Now, if you can't be home for news and you're on the go running around town, make sure to check out our Facebook page where you can catch the news live on Facebook, as well as any other news and updates. So now we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna and Eunette.
Thanks so much. We were joking about him being fluffy, meaning
yes, in a good way.
Unshaved.
Yes,
unshaved.
yes, beard gang.
Eunette was saying that he thinks it's still winter.
Yeah, but winter is not coming.
All right, so you have an idea about the Kingdom Club. Because it was a strip club, you want to have what there?
Well, something that everyone can enjoy, from chicks to Chick-fil-A.
See, she thinks of Chick-fil-A.
Any investors?
It was a Kingdom Club, see? You get it? All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Eunette Gentry. And from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thanks for joining us tonight, and we will see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.